So, I thought I would get back into doing these training logs. Can just kind of talk through what I'm doing in my workouts. You can kind of observe, and maybe if you pick up something useful from it, then we both win. So there's my first working set for this. For James 2018. Look at me go. I was at 405 pounds, which is a pretty manageable weight for me. Jumping up to 425 here. I'm doing all these working sets with my single prong belt, and I've got my second favorite pair of water shoes on there. So I like those because it's completely flat surface. These ones, there's no cushioning at all to speak of. So there's really nothing kind of getting in the way of my foot feel of the ground. Nothing it's going to make my ankle, my foot feel kind of splashy while I'm doing these squats. I guess it was several weeks back now, 3 weeks back, I scaled things back quite a bit, pulled my weights back, and had to correct some technical things that I was doing wrong. So on these sets, you'll see me taking some extra care on the descent to kind of stay upright, keep my chest up, stay upright as I can, really. With my leverages, I bend over a little more than some people, but that's just the way it goes. But yeah, I was kind of getting into a place where the hips were starting to shoot up way before my shoulders, or rather faster than my shoulders. So I'd turn into that ugly good morning squat, and doing that just really limits how much growth you can put into the exercise long term. It usually means you're digging into the low back and the hamstrings a bit too much. And of course, the potential of those things to contribute to a big squat is much, much lower than if you distribute the work primarily between the glutes and the quads, and also obviously the hamstrings and the low back too. So there's that fight. Get to that bottom position, and those hips always want to jump up first. The cue that has helped me most with this is just drive your traps into the bar, or think of driving your traps up. I got that from Greg Knuckles. Bench press, everyone's favorite, right? My least favorite. I'm to date decent at bench press for the average exerciser and bad at it relative to my other power lifts as a power lifter. So I've got this nice wide grip because my arms are quite long relative to my body, and the wide grip seems to help kind of offset that range of motion a little bit. It's a little more comfortable for me. I've got three upper body layers on here, 2 thick sweaters and probably a thin sweater or a t-shirt or something like that. Because the garage would have been something like -10 Celsius when I did this workout, which has been kind of par for the course this winter, but hey, that's where we are. That's kind of how I choose to work out. I like working out in my own space, so for right now, that means being a little cold. And actually, it doesn't matter too much when the workout gets going. I've got those nice thick gloves on. They're the whatever latex dipped or whatever, so they are kind of grippy. But by far the coldest thing in the gym is the barbell itself. And if you grip that thing with bare hands, then you're gonna know it. And who knows if you're gonna get your hands back off the bar. So I'm not playing that game. So this is a touch and go bench. I was doing, which is just your kind of standard bench press, really. I was doing almost all of my benching in competition, powerlifting competition style for quite a while, where you have pause on the chest anywhere between 1 and 3 to 5 seconds in some cases. But I found that bench was kind of plateauing a little bit, and I thought it might be a case of all the pausing is kind of holding back how much weight I can actually handle, how much muscle I can actually involve. So I'm going to take some time to do more touch and go benching and still work on the pauses some days, but for the most part, just work on getting more bar speed, more weight on the bar total. I think I'm slinging around 265 pounds here for these working sets, which again is not too crazy. Part of resetting those weights was resetting the bench weights, which is going to happen. You know, if you have a long enough lifting career, you're going to have to do that multiple times. Kind of reset those weights, drop them down a little bit, and kind of come back at things with cleaner technique and and renewed focus and more recovery. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, a lot of people ignore that, and they'll kind of get to the point where they're just working through technique problems all the time, and they're just reinforcing bad technique all the time. So here we go, Daddy's favorite sumo deadlift. I'm using the straps here. I'm still wearing my water shoes, I think, and belt's back on. But I started using the straps about a couple months ago, 2 months ago, and I'd always been kind of opposed to them because my grip had always held up, and I didn't really like the feeling of using straps. This is 405 pounds, or sorry, that was 405. But yeah, I found that my legs, my hips, my back could easily accommodate the weights that my grip was failing with. So long story short, my grip muscles were like constantly getting a workout. My forearm muscles, constantly getting a hard workout. This is 495 pounds, by the way. But my legs, my hips, and my back were getting a break because the grip was limiting how much I could do. So with the straps, I don't have that problem. The weaker grip muscles are kind of out of the way, and I can just kind of sling around weights as I please. I'm lifting heavy 4 days a week now. I have a squat variation on each of those days. I have a deadlift variation on 2 of those days. So this is very much a volume accumulation plan where I'm just trying to get in more total work. And you'll see that with the weights that I'm using here. This is nothing for me, nothing close to my max, that's for sure. It might be 545 on the bar there. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't have my notes in front of me. But yeah, the point of this whole block is to keep things a little more sub-max and just get more overall weight in across the week. So I'm trying to be disciplined with that. The point of this workout is to keep plenty of energy in the tank so that I don't sabotage the workouts later in the week. And that's why you'll see me doing these sets here where my RPE is like 6 or 7, meaning I could easily do 3 or 4 more reps in each set. But live to fight another day, get stronger. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on these videos if you want to see some more of them. And I'll talk to you guys again very soon.